In today's episode, we are continuing the build of Demi's 1993 Toyota FZ80 Series LandCruiser. We are continuing the build of the driveline, doing rear wheel bearings, axle seals, all those little bits and pieces. We are trying to remove as much rust from the car as we possibly can and respraying it underneath, as well as a few cool touches to the interior of the car.
Yeah. You actually have a Toyota?
Toyota's stupid, you know.
It's FT. And you know what they say? If you can't get the fuel plug off, don't drain the oil. Toyota thing, they always leak from everywhere.
Proudly supported by Ultimate 9, Tread, Opus Campers, Superior Engineering, and in part by Alrighty, back into some more modifications and building up this 80 Series LandCruiser. First couple of things that we're doing this morning is finishing off the part-time transfer kit and rebuilding the back end a bit, like doing the rear wheel bearings and seals and stuff like that. So I got all my stuff here. It's from all 4x4 spares down in Newcastle there. So we've got Terrain Tamer heavy duty bearing kit, one for each side. We've got some rear axle seals, one for each side. And then we got our remaining bits for the part-time transfer kit, where we'll have to pull the back plate off the transfer kit and get in there and get that part in. So in the previous episode, when we rebuilt the front end, we already just banged the manual locking hubs on, so they're just sort of locked in four-wheel drive because it's still a full-time four-wheel drive car. But yeah, once we get that kit in the transfer, then we'll be able to knock these back to two-wheel drive and be able to run around in it as a rear wheel only two-wheel drive car, and then just lock your hubs in, lock it into four-wheel drive when you're actually going off-road. Demi's just inside getting ready, should be out in a minute. Nick Birdo is on his way over, he's going to help us with that back end too. I'm going to get this back up on jack stands and start pulling the tyres off and tearing it down. So I got the tyre off, got the brake caliper off.
Looks like your axle seal's been slightly leaking, so lucky we got new ones anyway. Next step are these. We should probably drain them before first.
Was that it, cracking?
Yeah, I think so.
Any metal on the diff bung?
It looks like there's a little bit, but nothing crazy. So this could just be like LSD fibres, but there's no like massive chunks, so. So you can pull this thing off a few ways. You gently pry it, or if you have screws, you can screw two screws in and it pushes it out.
Yeah, okay. There's that now, the whole axle coming out.
Yeah.
So fair bit less work to get into them than the front.
Yeah.
Splines look straight.
Yeah, they're good, mate. LandCruiser's thing, petrol thing, ain't gonna twist anything.
No.
Out here's where the seal runs.
Yeah.
It's good. You can see a mark, but you can't feel a mark, so. The axle seal for these, it's just that little seal. They just tap in when you replace them. You're meant to have a special tool to adjust these LandCruiser back ones, which I forgot about, so I didn't bring. We'll just do it with a screwdriver. The home way, the budget builds. They're tight. And normally I have a impact one where it's like a thing you hit and then it like twists, but I don't have one, so well, not here.
So are they Phillips head screws, but they're tight, and so you try and impact them out rather than strip them?
Yeah. How strong are you feeling?
I'm probably stronger than both of you combined.
Dead set?
Yeah.
You got strong hands?
Yeah.
Strong twisting motions? Not worn out after last night, date night, mate. Can't stop, won't stop. you come try and twist these off. I've half cleaned it, so it should be half not slippery.
And just make sure you put lots of inward force.
Yeah.
So,
Babe, I know how to do it.
because if you're just
Babe.
trying to twist out, you'll strip the heads of them and then...
Wait, which way does it go?
Unless we have another Phillips head. They don't need to be that tight. We've got one. Built different, eh?
Just good with my hands, mate. Oh, look at that.
And then we just wind this out this adjuster. This is the other half of the locking mechanism, the big flat washer, and the end of them screws screw into them. The bad thing about these Toyotas is, you know how we replace the stubs on the front?
Yeah.
You can't replace the back ones. It's your whole diff. They'll be fine. They're good. They're normally and then I tell people they have to spend $3,000 on them, $2,000. I've done like 3 in the last 2 months. Because if you let the bearings run loose, they eat the back and then they eat the bottom the same as they did on the other ones. But yeah, instead of bolting on, these are part of your diff house and they're welded
on, kid.
Yeah.
You actually go to Toyota.
Toyota's stupid, you know.
You're okay.
These aren't very old at all.
How do you
But
know?
this one was full of oil.
Okay.
This is meant to be the same as that red stuff and it's like,
Oh,
it drips, so
okay.
it must be mixed in.
That's your new axle seal.
Thank you. Would you like me to show you how to install it? Just make sure it's in there like flat. You're in.
Installed.
Done, mate. That's the seal, that's rubbish, I'll just leave it in the pile.
So yeah, just time consuming cleanup.
It's always the way.
So you got it all cleaned up, bearings out, just getting the racers out, and then it's just about ready for a rebuild then.
Yeah, pretty well.
We start packing bearings, banging racers in,
Yeah,
put it back together.
exactly.
So the main thing you need for banging racers in is a little toolkit like that.
That's the easiest way. Otherwise, those little punches I had yesterday,
Yeah,
you can go, like, you tap around like this,
yeah, okay.
like really, just gentle taps, and they takes a fair while, but it goes
Yeah.
all the way
And
around.
you got to get it nice and even.
And it's easier to damage these, because if you hit right on the edge and like chip it,
Yeah,
then it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But that thing, they're alloy, so you can pretty much smack that into that as hard as you can, and it's going to ruin this, not that.
Yeah.
It just makes it super simple. Plus it's good for putting seals in, so it's like a 2-for-1.
And then while Nick's doing that side, Demi's over here getting the other side undone. Rub a bit of grease on the racer and then...
Then I'll slap it in, and then I'll get that seal that's in that box.
So you set the other bearing on the front side of that and then slot it in.
Put some grease on that seal. It's locky ring. I don't have the tool, so screwdriver it is.
So how tight do you do it? Like what's the...
Easy peasy, mate.
When you're doing this job as well, same as when we did the front end, it would be a good time to replace all the brakes, discs, pads, all that sort of stuff. But when I bought it, he'd literally just done all that. So all the discs are fine, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're all new, and all the pads are like 90%.
95%, mate. I don't even think he used the brakes.
No.
Well, just the handbrake.
Into that little hole.
Yeah, it's just like a wheel.
Yeah.
I'll show you on the other side. And you just twist it. That's pretty well locked up. Go back 1 click. That should be pretty good. Star wheel here.
Oh yeah.
So you twist it and that just pushes that out, or if you want to unadjust it, you twist it and it pushes it all the way in. Part-time, but it's probably going to be a bad time to film.
So that's the back end, all rebuilt. Now we're gonna get in under the car. Nick's under there now looking at pulling that tail shaft out. And first thing we're gonna do is the rear diff's leaking at the pinion. So we've got a new pinion seal, put that in, hope that'll fix it. And then we can refill the diff with oil and everything. and we'll have to take the tail shaft out to get into that transfer case for that part-time kit too. So we're just trying to do things like logically together. When, yeah, while we figure we're doing part-time kit, we thought we'll do that pinion seal too. So you can see there where it's all wet around the diff, leaking out. That pinion seal there. There's so much rust on that tail shaft.
Yeah, it's just an extra. Nothing to worry about. These things, when you do them up, you can't just rattle gun them up. They have a crush tube, and if you crush it too far, then your diff will out.
So it's a 30mm socket to get that nut off. We only had a chrome 30mm socket, so
Watch out, eh?
that's all you get.
Lucky I dodged.
So normally you get that out with seal pick.
Yeah.
There's more backyard mechanics, limited tools. We're still waiting for that tool sponsorship from
Budget builds, mate.
someone.
That's a seal. You can see how gross it was.
Yeah,
Been
right.
leaking for a minute. So that's a new one.
Yeah.
You get the big washer. Boom. You get the nut. So we don't want to like over squish this. If you don't know, you don't know. I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah. So you still rattle gunned it?
I've still rattle gunned it. So they have this nut with the. It has like a mark that you punch.
Yeah.
In to like lock it. And the easy way is you tap this all the way in so you're not pulling that in with the rattle gun, because then you know you're already home. So when it starts to get tight, you know you're there and you just want to barely nip it past that.
Yeah, okay.
So then once you've nipped it past that, you normally get a punch. I use a pointy end of this and you lock that little locky part of the nut. So it's done up now. It won't undo. Doesn't have play in it. Not heaps of backlash. It's good. So that's the tail shaft out.
Rear pinion seal replaced. Now we can fill up this diff with oil. Do that now before we forget. And then we can jump into that part-time kit.
Look at that, mate. GL5. Probably going to say, hey, you need to put LSD oil in there. Just put an LSD. Mate, if you read the bottle, no LSD additive required.
Oh yeah, it says it
It's
there.
built in, mate.
So is these LSD rear on them?
Yeah, it should be. If it's not, it's embarrassing.
We're going to give this tail shaft a nice clean up too, slowly convert the rust out of everything on all the parts on this car, so we'll just wire wheel it back and then give it a fresh coat of paint. So that's a bash plate you got to pull off?
Yep.
Yeah.
I drain the oil and then we pull out, this is your speed sensor, so your speeder.
Yeah.
That comes out. And then there's a couple plugs and then this plate comes off, all these bolts. Once that's off, I'm pretty sure this plate comes off and there's a circlip behind there. And then once that plate comes off, you need to pull off this next plate to here and then you undo the, I'll show you what's in there after that.
So a bit of undoing to begin with. It looks like it's leaking, hasn't it? That maybe has it too.
Yeah, it does. It could be this. Someone's already had this apart at some stage.
I wonder what the previous owner was doing in there.
Maybe just sealing up. They leak pretty bad. Toyota things. They always leak from everywhere.
Yeah.
They do. Like their power steering always leaks, their engines always leak, and these transfer cases always leak. But you know, most of these have a lot of K's on them, so there's mostly people driving around and they go, hey, I have a Toyota, these things don't break, so they don't look after them. And then they all break. And they're like, why is my car breaking? So well, you have to do maintenance. Oh, bloody hell.
She's tired.
It's FT. And you know what they say? If you can't get the fuel plug off, don't drain the oil. If I can't get it off,
I can't refill it.
it's just hard on the ground. You can't get good leverage.
If you need some muscles,
Got it.
Oh, he's got it.
It was just a finesse of like brute strength and not letting it slip off and it.
Yeah.
Smells like shit. You smell that? Camera can't smell it, eh?
That was bad, eh?
Make sure you don't lose this little fella when you do this. Speedo drive. It either stays stuck in there or in here.
So So Nick just had a thought before we go any further. Check this out and realised this doesn't have the bearing on it. The bearing has to be pressed on it, and we don't have a bearing press here in my garage. Meaning we can't go any further, so I have to pause this job. So that's why we just change the transfer oil, put some new oil back in, and yeah, pause this job for the moment till we get this bearing pressed on. How's shaft cleanup going? Getting them shafts nice and clean.
No.
Got the tail shaft all clean, fresh coat of paint on that, nice and black. Don't know what else we're going to do yet. Probably not much else to do today, is there? Because we can't get that part-time transfer in. And it's actually going tomorrow to the spray painters to get all these flares colour-coded white with the car and all new rubber seals on them too. So I'll show that when it's done. Back again in the future, a few weeks later, but update. Demi's going to give an update on what's happened with the 80.
We've got the flares painted.
Yeah, so I got the flares colour coded. That looks so much nicer. Nice shiny white, and then nice fresh rubbers along them all too. So the rubbers were from all 4x4 spares, and then local guy Lockie, he colour coded, painted the flares for us. And then the thing we're doing today, obviously we were saying in the last episode too, like we sort of touched up some of this paint and things like that. Got rid of some of the surface rust, touched up the paint, but it's still kind of like up all under it. Just like bits of surface rust everywhere. So we figured stuff it, we're just going to go the effort, and today we're going to get under, degrease it, wire wheel like everything back under there, and then respray it with Predator paint. Figure we just do it properly from the start, do it right. So you can see where like we'd already painted the diff, and it just looks so much nicer than, you know, this area. And none of it actually we can find seems to be like rust. It's just all surface crap everywhere. So we just wire wheel it and then blast the whole thing with paint. Be beautiful under here. It's shiny for Instagram, that's what it's all about really. And obviously we don't have a hoist, so I just got 4 jack stands, which gives us a good amount of clearance under it, so we can at least move around under there a little bit to clean it all up. How's it going?
Oh yeah.
Slow process. I was going to show what we're using to do it. So on the grinder, just a grinder with wire wheel on a grinder, which is the best way to do it. And then we got like a drill with a little wire wheel, which gets into smaller spots, but it's
little tight stuff.
Yeah, just it's
takes
not
even longer.
Not as powerful.
You know, pretty good. Most of this will all cover up with the ultimate paint, the Predator, mate.
Yeah, mate, it'll get it good.
It'll get it good. There's not much it can't do.
Now give it a little degrease, and then we'll blast it off with a gurney and see what we're looking at under there.
Yeah.
See if we need more grinding or it's ready for paint. This is a bit of a what's to come when your 80 gets lifted.
Yep.
This is only 6-inch, but what were you going? The 32-inch kit?
Yeah.
She look good.
At least.
None of it actually is that bad once you start like cleaning it up.
Nah, if you had like a big cup of rust converter, you probably just covered all that rust converter and it'd go away.
Cleaned up, now we're going to start getting it ready for painting. So we're going to try and mask off around it a bit, drop it down, tape it up, just so there's no overspray onto the actual car itself, obviously, because we're only painting the underneath nice and black. The main reason being just so it looks nice and fresh under there, especially once you lift it, you're looking at like all fresh black metalwork under there, and just rust protection too. Now to paint it using the Predator, which is like a textured paint, so they're a bit thicker, so there won't like be heaps of overspray everywhere anyway, but it just to 100% ensure, like when we did my GQ, we didn't drop sheet at all and it was fine, never got any Predator on it, but this 80's going to be the world's most pristine mall crawler. Can't have any black spots on it. And then the Predator, yeah, same stuff we used on the GQ. Used it, it's a bit cheaper than a couple of other big brands. Australian made and meant to sort of be suited for Australian conditions. It's just really good. Of the few of these types of products I've used, this seems to be the best one. So it comes from Wishart's Paint Solutions. They're the main supplier of this Predator paint, so that's who you can get it off if you want some. Anyways, I'll help Nick drop sheet this car, we'll get set up and then we'll blast her underneath. Look at it.
Looks like professional, mate.
Wait, where's pro painters? we've just taped off obviously the start of the seal there with the tape, drop sheet, so that, yeah, the paint's going to end there underneath the car. Anything that goes out is going to hit that and not go onto your seals and up your doors. Quick rundown on what you're doing now, Nick.
Epoxy primer and all the bare metal, whatever we sort of ground, so that it's sealed and
So the paint is starting to stick to.
yeah, paint sticks to it and it seals it so that it doesn't rust.
They're ready to go.
It's normally what you pour one of them in, one of these in, like you shake it really good, obviously.
Yeah, you give it a good shake up. So yeah, you get bottles part A, part B tips in. Mate, get out of here.
Yeah, I've got to open stuff now. Get out of here, young
Get
chap.
out of here.
Come on, quality control, not having it.
That's a little bit of reducer just to thin it out a fraction.
A little splash, what do you reckon?
Yeah, splashed her in, lid on, you shake it good.
If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, then there's all this scene's just cut. Yeah, so we're just wondering whether this is going to work because this air compressor's been a little bit funny. So we're hoping it works. If not, we're off to the shops to hire one. Pull everything off, see how it all looks. That's just about done for the day on the 80. We're out of my dad's currently building a new motor for the TD42, so we're doing that this morning, and that this was just snuck in the Savo. I feel better. I look under here and it's all fresh. Beautiful. What rust? Rustoided. What I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna take it back to Lockie and get him to fix up these seals a bit. Just like where the spot welds are, a little bit of ruts pop up and a little bit of stuff down the bottom there. Yeah, fix that seals up and pull that din out there too. And just a couple little bits like, I'll turn it down the camera. A couple little bits like that there on the front. I'll get him to fix up that and then it'll be all tidy. It'll be mint. Car is starting to come together now. It's looking very nice and fresh and black underneath. Back home we've chucked in a couple more things which we'll show. Nothing exciting, just basic things. Show us what you got here. Fresh couple of upgrades.
Dash mat.
Crap, but you reckon doesn't stick properly.
Well, none of them do.
Yeah,
None
dash
of
mats
them
never stick. Has
And
anyone got any tips for making dash mats stick?
except without it being super glue, because that's what we did to one of them, and you know.
We don't want to super. We super glued the GU one. That's right. Look, it looks nice. It's a nice dash mat, but
Don't listen up.
they never stick.
No. And then we also finally, like literally 3 months later, got sand grabber floor mats.
Not happy with the wait time.
Oh, the wait times.
So yeah, just floor mats. They're moulded, they're made for an 80 series. That's why they took long, because they specifically make them for your car. But
Is that really true?
front and back, well, I guess.
I don't think it's true.
Unless they scammed us.
No, I think they're 480s. They don't get them like custom made.
Well, no, they're custom made to suit an 80 floor. Like they mould to the sections of the floor. They're not just like a general floor
I
mat.
thought you meant like they custom make it as we order them. Like that's not true.
No.
Yeah, and the back ones are nice too because they go
Yeah.
on the whole thing.
Yeah, so yeah, back one's down there too. It's going the whole thing. So yeah, how are you happy with it? Starting to come
How
together.
you happy with it? How I'm happy with it is good.
So I think that's most of the mods done on this episode. What's future? What's coming up soon for the 80? Any sneak peeks or keep it a secret?
Suspension.
Suspension next and
Suspension
tyres.
and tyres and rims.
It would be 110% very sensible and logical to get 33s.
We're not though.
But we're not.
But we're not.
So we're going to get
And-
35s basically because we're idiots.
Because why not? And also, if anyone wants to sponsor us, the tyres, sorry, that would save us a lot of money. And by us, I mean Tyler.
Well, by the time you see this video, it's probably going to be too late. But yeah, we would have had tyres by now, but we don't have enough funds to buy tyres. Tyres are very expensive. All right, peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out. Peace out, Zeph.
Peace.
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 Peace. There. Boom, 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 boom. First couple of jobs today, and all right, kicking this build set. Alrighty, I think we're up to episode.
Why is it called an adjuster? Does it adjust things?
Yeah.
Adjust the tension of
It's
the
an
wheel
attitude
bearing.
adjustment.
I need one of those.
I've got one for you.
Did we get the mirror done? Was that last time?
No, that's all done. It was only really the flares, and they just got to explain what we're doing today.
Now today we are degreasing under the car, and then. Right, you gotta tell me first because I don't know.
You want me to do it?
Let me do it. It's my car, my rules.
Well, we're.
And lastly, we put in a new.
No, go again.
And last but not least, we put in a new dash mat.
Yeah. You're freaking out, mate.
We put in a nice new dash mat that doesn't stick down.
Oh, how about I just start it for you, and then you can show them. Car's really starting to come together now. It is looking very nice, I reckon.
Yeah, it's looking really nice.
Not helpful.
That's what you sounded like.
Christ, man.
Well, Miss Lindy, my Miss Lindy.